Well, I've got used to it because I've been on tour now for 6-7 weeks, and we've played 16 or 17 shows or something. The first few I was very nervous and very self-conscious, and now I'm kind of much more relaxed about it and quite enjoying it, you know. But this tonight is actually a very intimate show. It's one of the smallest ones we've done. It's a very kind of compact club here. I think it will be a good atmosphere, but the people are going to be here, you know. So that's kind of strange for me because, you know, if, the last time I played in Paris, it was in front of 16,000 people at the Bercy, you know. So, I don't know, they're different things. It's a different experience. But I've been enjoying the tour. It's been really nice. And the reactions have been great. People have been friendly, you know. Been meeting lots of fans along the way and that kind of thing. You know?
Very positive feedback.
Oh yeah, really good, yeah.
Well, it's very difficult to organise when people live in different parts of the world. You know, some of the singers I've worked with, they live in America. It just wouldn't be cost effective to go around and try to take all the different singers. Although, you know, we do have a few plans here and there to introduce one or two of the singers if we're visiting the towns that they live in, you know. And we had Douglas McCarthy for 2 shows to sing on some songs. So it is possible to do that, but this is a much more kind of low-key thing than someone like Massive Attack. You know, we have a much bigger production on the road and more money to spend on it. So we're doing this more like an experiment, seeing what is possible really, you know, with Recoil in this context. And as you say, it's not a live band, it's much more of a paired show with lots of visuals, and you know, it seems to work okay. As long as people realise what it is and don't expect something different, then I think it works okay. Not really, actually. I mean, I think for many artists it would be. Many artists have realised that you can actually make money playing live and selling merchandise and selling CDs on the road. But this is not the reason I'm doing this tour, you know. We try to not lose any money, but you know, this is much more of a promotional exercise, something of an experiment. And because we've released this album of a collection of old material, I was listening back to everything and I thought, oh, I could actually suddenly see a way that it could be presented in a venue that would be different to record. You know, you could present. This is the challenge for me, to prepare the music and the visuals with the live venue in mind, in different context. You know. Well, it's something that's really evolved from. It was going to be a very quick release. Mute said we're just going to put out a quick compilation. We want to introduce, you know, we want to try to get something into record stores. Record stores only want to accept compilations really these days. So they said, you know, we'll try and bring some people up to speed with Recoil who don't really know that much about the project. And then it sort of evolved into more than that, and Robert, my guy at Mute, said, well, we could do a second disc, you know, with some remixes, and then we started commissioning remixes. I started listening to the old music, and as time has gone on, the sort of thinking behind it has changed. The thinking behind record companies has changed. Extra formats, vinyl, you know, special editions, all these things have come along, and the record companies are realising that these can be financially viable. And so, and this suits me too, because I want to be able to put really good quality products out there for people, and the fans love it. So it's turned into something else, much, much more than it was intended to be. So if you're wondering why we've moved location and everything's changed, it's because, as you might have heard, there was a lot of noise going on, and there was a kitchen right next to where we were trying to do the interview, and they're setting up for the restaurant, and no one could hear themselves think. So here we are now in the Bus Palladium's dressing room, where it's much quieter and actually much nicer. So we're going to carry on in here. You can see the strange decor, which is quite nice actually. I quite like it. Anyway, so it's nice and quiet, and we're going to carry on the interview now. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Well, this was a way to have some new material, you know, to be able to just remix some of the old tracks, freshen up really some of the sound of some of the old tracks, and give something new to the fans that already owned some of those songs, you know. So for fans that already have it, they can buy the extra disc version with all the new mixes on. And, we didn't have time to really record a new song for it, you know. I can't really remember why I chose that word, but I quite like how it feels and sounds, and it has the meaning of being sort of thrown backwards, and the idea that music could possibly do that to you is quite a good thing, you know. It causes a reaction. I suppose to recoil is a reaction to something, and so it's good if music gives people a reaction, you know.
Okay.
So I quite like it for that reason. Well, I would just say that I've got better at what I do, you know. I've also had more time for it once I left Depeche Mode. Became a full-time project and more serious for me, you know. And so the experience of that and having more time, and you know, has allowed it to grow into something that has a real focus rather than was just kind of random instrumental music without much direction, you know, as it started out.